What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Sports Junkies Podcast. Your boy Kid here, and today we got the NFL segment. Some more table talk going on for you guys. Last week, the NFL segment did really good. You guys really liked that Steelers video, so I thought I'd come back and I'd bring another Steelers topic to the table. And we got the Steelers' next man up problem. The Steelers have this system built. They call it the next man up problem. I'm just going to kind of break down what I think about that whole situation. We're going to talk about Josh Gordon being in the FCF, the Fan-Controlled Football League. His debut was insane. And then we're going to move to the NFC and talk about the future for the Saints when it comes to their quarterback situation they have. They got Taysom Hill, the all-around god, and then when they got Jameis Winston, Mr. 30 for 30 himself. So, without further ado, man, let's just hop into this video. Let's talk about the Steelers first, okay? The Steelers have a next man up problem. And there's so much wrong with this system they've integrated because it's kept the Steelers from, I feel like, being truly successful. Now, let me break down some of the next man up, things they've shown. So, when the Steelers needed a new offensive coordinator, I forgot who our offensive coordinator was before Randy Finkner, short-term memory, but I think, when we fired him, the goal was to just, let's bring in the quarterbacks coach, which obviously at that point made sense. And, at that point, it wasn't like we fired coaches often. So it was like, okay, well, we bring the next guy in. Let's see how he plays. Bada boom. Randy Finkner will go down as possibly the worst Steelers offensive coordinator of all time. And it's that simple. And now that we've fired Randy Finkner, we've promoted, who do we promote? Matt Canada. Matt Canada's now the offensive coordinator. And I'm kind of curious about that because I'm like, well, okay, why not go out and find an offensive coordinator who's the best for the job? Why just hire someone that's already on the, you know what I'm saying? They're not an offensive coordinator for a reason. So it makes me think, why are we even attempting that? Does anyone know Matt Canada's career before he got to the Steelers? Matt Canada was the offensive coordinator for LSU, where LSU was a basic team. They didn't have a great offense. And then he got fired from LSU, and I think this was in 2017. And you guys know what 2018 LSU did, or was that 2019? It was 2019. He got fired in 2018, and then the next year LSU would go on to have the greatest offense college football has ever seen. I'm talking multiple top first-round picks, talent out of this world. And what makes me think about that is the fact that, I feel like Matt Canada really won't be the answer. I think the offense can be better because I don't think it can get worse than what Randy Finkner was doing in the system he had. But I think bringing in Matt Canada wasn't the right, choice. We were looking at Pep Hamilton. We were looking at some other offensive coordinators who I felt like were way more qualified, who I felt like who could have brought a new, feel to this offense. And I feel like we needed to hire outside of the organization. And then that brings me to our next man up situation. We fire our offensive line coach, who, by the way, was terrible, who was awful. And then we hire his assistant. What type of sense does that actually make? It makes none at all. The Steelers have a next man up problem. This problem will cause the Steelers to win no championships. It'll keep holding the Steelers back as long as they do it. We've got to figure out a way to bring in talent. We've got to start reaching free agency. Like I said last week, the Steelers got to be more desperate to win. And this whole next man up system that they have, it's flawed, it's broken, it doesn't work. Now, I'm gonna sit back and give these guys a chance. I'm not gonna knock them before. I don't think they were the right hiring choice. When we looked at everything we could have possibly done, I don't think they were the best. I don't think we hired the best people. But obviously, I'm gonna give them a chance to see what they do. I mean, this team's gonna look a lot different next season. I don't think this team really is gonna be as good as we're expecting it to be. At all, to be honest. I mean, we're losing some key defensive pieces. We're could be losing some key offensive pieces. So it's really just going to be interesting to see how the Steelers use this next man up system on the players, because at the current moment, the next man up situation is the draft, and the draft is really going to point to where I feel like the Steelers will aim to make the team better. But when we regard these coaches, I don't think hiring Matt Canada was the best situation. I don't think hiring Adrian Clem as the new offensive line coach was the right situation. I'm like, if the offensive coordinator can't get this thing straight, what makes you think his assistant will? And I know the argument a lot of fans were using, well, obviously he may have a different system. He may not have used his antics or kept his antics. I'm like, but if he was on this team, don't you think he would have been able to make the offensive line a little bit better, him being the assistant? It's like, he's not just there, he's obviously working with the players as well, and that didn't work. So why would that be a good idea to hire the assistant of the coach you just fired? That makes no sense at all. It makes none at all. And when it comes to Matt Canada, like I said, I don't think he can be any worse than Randy Finkner, but at the same time, I don't think we're improving at all. I think Matt, let me not say that. I think we're improving a bit, but I don't think we're going to be as great as we can be. And that kind of gets me to the end of this topic, is this Steelers situation, this Steelers next man up system. It's really flawed. It's worked on the players a bit. Robert Spillane, Cam Sutton. It's worked on the players just slightly. It hasn't worked with the running backs at all, because our running backs are terrible. James Conner starts playing bad. They go, okay, well, let's put Benny Snell in. Benny Snell plays terrible. Well, let's put McFarland in. McFarland will have a 2 or 3 decent runs, and then he'll start playing terrible. And it's like, well, we got to put James Conner back in. It's this next man up situation. It's a never-ending way to fail. It's just gonna cause constant failure. And until Mike Tomlin and Colbert and Art Rooney II realize that, man, this team won't get better, man. You gotta hire outside of the organization to make this team better than they are playing right now. Because right now, this next man up system, it's not going to benefit the team. They're like I said last week, they're continuing to dig this team into a hole by doing this next man up system. This whole not being desperate, not going out and getting what you need, being aggressive. And this whole next man up, it's soft. It's very soft, and it's going to keep the Steelers from being true contenders. And I can tell you, I can give you examples of many teams who are aggressive and who have got their teams on track. And you want to know one of those teams? One of those teams just happened to be in our conference, and that team is the Cleveland Browns. And like I said in one of my other videos, the Cleveland Browns right now are a top 3 team in the AFC. And 3-4 years ago, this team was absolutely trash. But they were aggressive. They were, desperate. And they made the moves they needed to. They don't do that little stupid next man up situation. They go out and grab stuff and grab people in free agency. They signed how many top stars on their offensive line? They traded up to draft how many players? You know what I'm saying? It's about being desperate. It's about wanting it. It's about getting it. And I feel like until the Steelers learn that, this Steelers team will continue to dig a hole deeper and deeper and deeper until we become the next Cleveland Browns and we become a losing franchise for years on years, until we can finally get this team back on track. This next man up system is broken. The Steelers need to fix it. And that's just going to bring me to my next topic, man. We got this next topic is interesting. Josh Gordon, he got his debut in the FCF, and what can I say? He pretty much dominated. He had 4 catches, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's sad to see this talent wait, because this is just too easy for Josh Gordon. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, he's only 29. He still could have some good years in the NFL, I feel like, but the drugs and the suspensions just really hurt him a lot. And it's great to see him be able to still enjoy himself playing football, but man, I'm just telling you, he's just too good for this league, man. I was watching the game, the highlights. He looks too good. He caught a Hail Mary, you know what I'm saying, first game, and the crazy thing is he made it look easy. He really just snagged one guy. There was like defensive backs all around him, and they just didn't do anything. He just sat there, snagged the ball, you know what I'm saying, from everyone. And I mean, that's just what you're going to get. It's like if you put, Kyler Murray, or if you put Patrick Mahomes in this league, or you put one of the league's top running backs, this is just going to happen. I don't even know if they can run the ball in that league, but this is just something that's just going to continue to happen. But it's great to see him still enjoying himself. Like I said, him not being able to get in the NFL with all the suspensions and him getting released and stuff, as long as he's able to find, that enjoyment he has, it's good to see that from players, especially when they retire and they still can find some enjoyment, around the game of football. But yeah, man, I love the FCF so far. I wonder how long it's gonna last, because most these fan leagues, XFL, all that, it doesn't last long at all. You know what I'm saying? They come back and then they get gone just like it was nothing. But I think this is going to be interesting for a lot of players who face suspensions or newly retired players, you know what I'm saying, to join the FCF, you know, and then they interact with their fans so well. So I feel like it's a good step for the FCF, you know, getting somebody like Josh Gordon, because, you know, right now I feel like he's the biggest name there. You know, you got Johnny Manziel, but I mean, let's be real, you know, you got Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon could be in the NFL right now, you know what I'm saying, going for 100 yards a game. So it's really interesting. But yeah, man, it's too easy for him. I mean, on the Hail Mary, it was so many guys around him, and only one guy actually tried to bat the ball down. Other than that, you know, Josh Gordon just mossed him. It was too easy. You know, he babied him, and that sucks, because I'm like, where are these players even from? I feel like a lot of these players are the players who couldn't make the Canada Football League or the NFL. They're just like free agents, you know, probably who gave up football a long time ago, or maybe guys who were just still searching to play. But these players, man, they're not good enough for somebody like Josh Gordon to be in the league, because he's just going to dominate every single week. He's so quick off the line. He's still quick, and he hasn't played in the NFL in how long? How long has it been since he's played an NFL game? And he's still quick. You know, he still moves fast, but man, this is too easy for Josh Gordon, or should I say Flash, man. This is way too easy for that man. The Seahawks do need him, though. So if the NFL could reinstate him, please get him back in the league. And maybe, you know, maybe they'll look at this and maybe it'll give him a chance to get back in the league. But I mean, until then, man, I guess if he can just continue I'm surprised he didn't drop more yards than he did. That's the thing about it. I feel like he would have dropped even more yards, but you know, the field is smaller, so it's going to be harder. 70 yards and on this field is probably like equal to like 150 or something, you know what I'm saying? But he only had 4 catches, so I think he was taking it slow at first. He'll probably still take it slow, continue to take it slow, but it's going to be interesting how this league maneuvers around in the next, you know, few years, hopefully, or if they just make it one season and see how they you know, get going, and hopefully they can, you know, get this stuff on the right track and, you know, get it you know, get some more big name players in there. So let's just see how that goes. But that's going to bring us to our final topic today. The Saints have they don't have a situation, and I don't even think Drew Brees is officially retired yet. I mean, I can actually look that up. Has Drew Brees actually retired? Because I really don't know. I know the plan for him is to retire, but as of right now, he hasn't officially retired. Maybe he might pull a Ben Roethlisberger and come back for another year. Yeah, it's still reported that Drew Brees hasn't retired, so that's interesting. But if he does retire, the Saints have 2 quarterbacks. They've got Taysom Hill and they've got Jameis Winston. Now, Jameis Winston was the first overall pick. He is a national champion. I'm talking about he is going to go down as one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time. Actually, you know, I'm not going to go that far. He is great, though. You know what I'm saying? Run Rookie of the Year, 4,000 passing yards as a rookie. He never took that step up. He throws a lot of picks, and I don't know where that's from, but he's like, when it comes to, you know, throwing the ball, he throws a lot of interceptions, man. He never took that leap, I feel like, you know, from being to becoming a great quarterback. He's always like very interception based. I mean, 2019, he threw 30 interceptions, but he still managed to throw 30, you know, touchdowns. And sadly or not, that's the best season he's had. That's his best season. You know what I'm saying? This is a Heisman Trophy winner. And as much as I feel like, you know what I'm saying, I feel like he could have had a better career maybe on a different team. You know, it's kind of sad to see him go down this route, because I feel like he still hasn't taken that leap forward. You know what I'm saying? 60% completion percentage, which isn't bad. You know, I feel like he still hasn't taken that leap. He's just really got to tone down those interceptions, and I feel like Saints fans will welcome him. But it's gonna be serious. I'm kind of, you know, curious as to how he's gonna, you know, lead this team and get this team on the right track if he was to be the quarterback. And then I'm looking at Taysom Hill. When he was the starter, he was 3-0. He had 2 wins. It was the Falcons and the Denver Broncos. You know, they're not really good teams, but they were 3-0. Threw for 500 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. He did throw a pick, and then completed 71% of his passes. But you got to think, when the offense is running through Taysom Hill, they're running it a lot different. They're not running it the same as like when they have Drew Brees. You know, when you got Taysom Hill, you can make Taysom Hill do all kinds of crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to build a game plan. I'm going to build a playbook around, you know, Taysom Hill's ability to kind of maneuver around the offense. And I feel like the Buccaneers I'm trolling. I feel like the Saints will find a way to to integrate that, I still feel like Taysom Hill will be a big, role in this offense. And I think they're paying him $16 million a year. So they better find a way to get him in this offense, regardless if if Jameis Winston's a starter. They got to find a way to get Taysom Hill going too, because that's a lot of money for a guy. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of money for a guy that you don't really want to pass, but you find ways to get him in the offense, and this guy can play every position. So it's a really interesting, he's a really interesting guy. But I think Jameis Winston will get the start, but let's just see how he plays in Sean Payton's system. Do I think it'll last? I think eventually we're going to see both of these guys starting a game next season. I feel like if Drew Brees is gone, I feel like we'll definitely see both of these guys playing. I don't know what Jameis Winston's contract looks like. That's another interesting thing. I wonder how much they're paying this dude. But that's also going to, come into factor what the contract is like. How many years does he have left with New Orleans? What type of deal did he sign? But I know Taysom Hill is he's got him a little thick contract for being a backup who, really doesn't throw the ball as much. Kind of reminds me, he's like a game manager. That's really what he'll be if he's on this team. He'll be kind of a game manager, kind of like Jake Fromm when he played for Georgia. He'll be a game manager, a guy who can hopefully move the ball down the field. I don't think as a threat as a thrower, I really don't feel like he is. Like I said, he started 3 games. He went 3-0, which, he's good enough to win the games. He's shown that, obviously. He's good enough to win games. 3-0, beat the Falcons and the Bucks, only 500 passing yards. And you know how bad the Falcons defense is. Now the Bucks, that's a different story because the Bucks have a great, defense. But that's just it's really interesting to to see how that works, how it will work for this team. But I think that's really it. That's really all I got to say, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys are thinking. How do you guys feel about the Steelers next man up situation? How do you feel about Josh Gordon playing in the FCF? And what do you think the future for the FCF is? What players would you like to see in the FCF, that aren't playing in the league right now? And then tell me, guys, what do you think, man? Taysom Hill as the starter or Jameis Winston as a starter for the Saints next season if Drew Brees retires? Let me know who's interesting and why wouldn't you want the other quarterback. Also, tell me, guys, what you think the Steelers should have done coaching-wise, and tell me what you guys hope they do when it comes to this draft. But until then, guys, look forward to the NCAA on Friday. Make sure you guys keep an eye on the channel. Make sure you guys are liking, commenting, subscribing. We're going to announce that sub giveaway, that 100 sub giveaway at 80 subs. So make sure you guys are there for that. Make sure you guys check out the NBA section. We just dropped some videos, and then the MLB is getting started soon, so be on the lookout for that as well. But until next time, guys, it's been your boy Kid with the NFL segment, some table talk on the Sports Junkies Podcast. Until next time, guys, see you soon. Peace.